Welcome back, innovators. It's fantastic to have you with us here in the Idea Mechanics Lab today. Look, our lead innovation catalyst and navigator, the slightly chubby guy over there with the silver-accented brown hair, glasses, and red shirt, has the data pulled up and ready. He's pointing us toward a massive, paradigm-shifting breakthrough in healthcare engineering. Today's explainer is all about how we systematically eradicate biological trauma. Let's dive right in.
Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, our navigator wants to hammer home a core philosophy. We're talking about TRIZ, the methodology of systematic innovation. We really need to break away from this myth that innovation is just some lucky eureka moment, right? Actually, it's a highly repeatable architectural discipline. It's literally the tool set we use to solve everyday engineering and medical contradictions.
If you're ready to stop relying on luck and start mastering systematic discovery, hit that subscribe button to join the Idea Mechanics team.
And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you're the first to see our next innovation breakdown. We want to build this culture with you. Drop a comment below and tell us which innovation techniques, methodology, or tech challenge we should tackle next.
Okay, let's get into it. Here's our tactical briefing for today. We're going to kick things off with escaping the slow trap, define TRIZ principle 21, and then look at some real-world applications with the frictionless cut and the nanosecond sculptor before we wrap the whole thing up with systematic innovation.
So, Section 1, Escaping the Slow Trap. Let's talk about the hidden dangers of slow and careful medicine.
You know, in traditional procedures, we usually just assume that working slowly and carefully is the absolute safest approach. Makes sense, right? Well, our navigator's analysis highlights a pretty dangerous paradox. Prolonged thermal exposure from slow, careful medicine actually generates a ton of friction, and that friction, it causes severe biological trauma. We're talking tissue necrosis, massive inflammation, the works. So to fix this, we literally have to eradicate that trauma using systematic speed.
Moving on to Section 2, we are diving into TRIZ principle 21. This is also known as skipping or rushing through.
I absolutely love this quote our navigator pulled from the source material for us. Read this with me. How can we execute this harmful process so incredibly fast that the physical damage never even has time to manifest? I mean, what a powerful reframing. High-speed execution here isn't about rushing the quality or being careless, not at all. Instead, it acts as a deliberate, systematic biological protective measure. The underlying logic is so simple but brilliant. Negative effects, like heat propagation, require time to actually happen. So if we remove the time, we completely remove the harm.
Right, so here is the exact architectural process our navigator uses to tackle this contradiction. Step 1, you identify the harmful process, in this case, friction. Step 2, you accelerate the execution to extreme speeds. And Step 3, you skip the thermal damage altogether. By drastically reducing the exposure time, the impact of the heat is either minimized or completely eliminated. Just a brilliant, repeatable way to ensure patient safety.
Okay, Section 3. Let's look at a real-world example, the frictionless cut, focusing on high-speed dental drills.
Now, if we use a low-speed drill to cut through tooth enamel and bone, all that friction generates significant heat. And the result? Ouch! Severe pain, thermal injury to the pulp, and even tissue necrosis. Nobody wants that. But look at the bottom row our navigator is pointing to. By systematically applying TRIZ principle 21, engineers design drills with extreme rotational speeds. The rapid cutting action finishes before the heat can even build up and propagate into the surrounding tissue. The result is drastically minimized patient discomfort and perfectly preserved tooth health. It's an absolute game changer.
Let's keep this momentum going into Section 4, the nanosecond sculptor. We're talking laser eye surgery, specifically LASIK.
So, reshaping the human cornea requires a laser to ablate or remove microscopic layers of tissue. But if this ablation occurs too slowly, the heat transfer leads to severe inflammation and thermal scarring. Obviously, in eye surgery, that is a massive problem. So what's the architectural solution? Modern excimer lasers. These devices ensure minimal heat transfer and absolutely perfect reshaping.
Notice the metric our navigator has isolated for us here, a few nanoseconds. Modern excimer lasers operate with extremely short, high-energy pulses that last only billionths of a second. To put that into perspective, it's so incredibly fast that it effectively skips the prolonged exposure that would lead to thermal necrosis. The heat literally doesn't have time to do damage. It is a flawless, textbook execution of Principle 21.
Bringing it all together in Section 5, Systematic Innovation. Engineering completely outside the timeline of damage.
The absolutely crucial takeaway from our navigator's briefing today is this. Innovation is an architectural skill. Speed is a protective tool. The safest medical tools in the world operate entirely outside the timeline of biological damage. This proves once and for all that heat and friction, they are not necessary evils. We can systematically engineer around them.
So I want to leave you with a provocative question from our navigator today. Where else in your industry can you systematically apply moving faster than harm? Seriously, whether you're in manufacturing, software, or medical devices, how can you use speed as a protective barrier to bypass a negative effect? Think about it, try to apply it, and let us know your brilliant ideas in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining our community today. Stay curious, stay systematic, and keep innovating.